Last night at about 8:46 p.m., our officers received a call of an incident at an address on Moreland Way in Santa Clara involving a collision. Once they arrived at that location, they discovered that a hit and run had occurred. Also, a vandalism had occurred to a vehicle. Subsequent to that, they had identified Aldon Smith as the person that was responsible for those two incidents. After contacting Aldon Smith at that same location, they also determined that he was also under the influence of an alcoholic beverage, and he was arrested for DUI, as well as the vandalism, as well as the vandalism and the hit and run. So after the officer determined he was responsible for those set of circumstances, he was arrested again and transported to Santa Clara Police Department for processing. At the police department, they processed Mr. Smith, and then he was later transported to Santa Clara County Jail. And that's kind of an overview of the incident. I did stutter a little bit, so I can recap it if you'd like.
Where did it happen?
This happened in the 500 block of Moreland Way.
I'm sorry, what way?
Moreland, M-O-R-E-L-A-N-D, Moreland Way in Santa Clara.
Did you discover other 49ers players there with Aldon Smith?
That I don't know. At this time, I'm not releasing that information. That's all part of the investigation, and that will come out at a later date.
Did he submit to a blood prep?
I cannot talk about that. That will come out at a later date.
How far away was he arrested from where the hit and run apparently happened?
He was arrested at the same location. What happened in this particular set of circumstances, the officers were on scene at the location investigating the hit and run and the vandalism. Aldon Smith had returned to the location and subsequently contacted our officers, and that is at that point they determined he was under the influence of an alcoholic beverage.
And did it have an open container with him, or?
That I don't know.
Was he initially not there when your officers first arrived? Aldon Smith was not there?
That is correct. When officers first arrived on scene, he was not there.
Is this a restaurant there at 500 Moreland? Is it a parking lot?
This is a large complex with a parking garage that's gated.
So it's a house, like an apartment complex?
Yes, it's a complex.
There are reports that this was an altercation with a neighbor. Are you?
I can't comment or speak on that at this time.
Was that in the police report or affidavit?
I can't comment or speak on it at this time.
Did Aldon cooperate?
Yes, he cooperated with the officers on scene. He submitted to a field sobriety test. He submitted to, it's called a preliminary alcohol screening device. It's known as a PAS, and he submitted to that test as well. And officers were able to talk to him at the scene.
If he returned to the scene and he called the police, how do you call it hit and run?
Well, that will be an investigation and will be released at a later date.
If nobody witnessed him driving under the influence, can you still charge somebody with DUI?
At the scene of a collision, yes, we can.
He returned to the scene of a collision.
Yes, he was operating the vehicle and returned to the scene of the collision.
Does he live there?
He lives in that area.
In that area, but not at that complex?
He lives at the complex.
Is it apartments or condos?
I'm not sure. I know it's a large structure. I think it's condominiums, but I'm not sure on that.
Is it close to Levi Stadium?
It's on the north side where Levi Stadium is at. I don't know the proximity. I would say within a few miles.
What kind of blood alcohol levels did he have?
I cannot release that. That's part of the investigation.
How was DUI determined? Did he attend to a breathalyzer test?
I can't talk about that. Again, that's part of the investigation. What he did, he committed to a field sobriety test in the field and was cooperative with the officers in the field.
When he returned to the scene, did he return on foot or in his vehicle?
He walked back to the scene.
Walked back.
Yes.
Where was
Were
the
any
vehicle?
vehicles towed or anything?
I can't comment on that right now.
Where was the vehicle when he walked back? His vehicle?
The vehicle was in the parking lot parked.
Is
What?
it on private property or on the street?
It's on private property in a garage.
What did he hit?
He hit another vehicle. As he was backing his vehicle to park his vehicle, he collided with the vehicle that was adjacent to his vehicle.
That belong to?
It belonged to the victim in his set of circumstance.
So approximately then, how far away was his vehicle from the vehicle that he struck when the officers showed up?
Can you ask that question again, please?
How far away was his vehicle from the one that he struck when officers came up upon the scene?
I don't know specifically the vehicle alignments. I know it was within close proximity. He was attempting to park his vehicle, and while doing that maneuver, he collided with another vehicle that was adjacent to it. I don't know the distances.
Matter of a few feet.
I don't know the distances. I'll be speculating if I gave an answer.
Again, how is that hit and run?
He left the scene, did not identify himself at all, and it was not until when the officers returned to the scene, then he came back down and contacted the officers.
Lieutenant, can you talk about what kind of cars we're talking about?
I don't know the cars specifically. As far as Aldon's vehicle, I believe it's a larger SUV type or maybe a truck, and the other vehicle, it's a smaller compact vehicle.
Did he know the owner of the car that he allegedly hit, or was it just did he know
What?
the person who operated the vehicle that was hit, or was it just a random vehicle that's parked in the garage?
I don't know if he knew that person. It was just a vehicle in the garage.
The vehicle was unoccupied.
That is correct.
Was the
What's the
vehicle-
vandalism charge? What did he do to the car to constitute a vandalism charge?
That's a good question. After he parked his vehicle, Mr. Smith exited his car with his car door, and it was his car door that collided with the other vehicle's door, and that's the vandalism section.
What damage did it cause?
Significant damage where a vandalism did occur.
It seemed that like that was intentional.
I don't know. I mean, that will come out later.
Was there an altercation, physical or verbal, with the owner of the other vehicle?
I don't know specifically what altercation you're referring to, other than the other owner was there at the scene, and he did not leave any identifying information as to who he is, and he walked away. I don't know if he knew the owner or not.
Has the city experienced more crime in general because the 49ers are now in the city of Santa Clara?
I can't speculate on that. I mean, it's another call for service we went to, and I can't speculate with more crime in Santa Clara. It's kind of a very general and vague question.
Was another 49ers player involved?
That I'm not aware of.
Is there security video from the garage of this incident?
That I'm not aware of.
At what time did this happen?
This happened about 8:50 last night, so 10 minutes to 9.
Did he post his own bail?
That I don't know.
Do you have a booking photo available?
I can make that available after this press conference.